All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Rachel Klein, and I will be your presenter for the next 20 minutes here. Today, we're going to be talking about special donations gifts. So we're going to look at in-kind gifts. So when someone donates something that isn't money, so it would be something tangible, so possibly something like copier paper or coffee for the kitchen, something like that. And then we're also going to talk about how to get a gift of stock entered into just the donations module. And just keep in mind too, today it's just me. Usually there's somebody sitting in with me on the other end to answer some questions, but we didn't have anybody available today. So you just have me. Feel free to ask questions. You can definitely do that in the questions section on the GoToWebinar toolbar, but just keep in mind I'm not going to get to them till the end. If I try to read the question while I'm talking, then I get myself all mixed up. So feel free to ask a question, but I'm not going to get to it till the end of the webinar. So just be patient with me with that, please. Also, the outline I'm following for today's webinar is from one of our workbooks. So it's from the Donations 102 workbook, pages 17 through 20. Now keep in mind we're constantly updating these workbooks as we come out with new versions. So if the pages 17 through 20 don't totally jive with the workbook that you're looking at, it could just be a couple years older from an older version. Just verify in the front in that table of context where table of contents where the special donation gifts section is. You can get to it that way. One more thing, this is recorded. So I have a tech that's able to record this while I'm presenting it. Once it gets cleaned up a little bit, we'll have it out on the website hopefully by end of week or early next week for you to rewatch this, share this with somebody else at church that might find it beneficial. Okay? So as you can see, I'm in version 20.17.3. This is our most current version as of today. If you see a version older than this, you can head out to our website, get it downloaded, and if you're on something prior to 20, go ahead and shoot us an email to support@churchwindows.com, or you can call in on our support line and we can get you a up-to-date copy of your Church Windows. All right, so starting on page 17 in the Donations 102 workbook, we're going to talk about in-kind gifts first. So in-kind gifts, like I touched on at the beginning, are going to be something other than money that people are going to give to you. So the examples in the book follow like a case of copier paper, a microwave for the kitchen, new furnace, things like that. So because it's not actually cash, the way that you enter it into donations has to be a little bit different. Okay, and especially if you're using our accounting module as well, you can't transfer a dollar amount over into accounting because that money was never deposited in your bank account. Okay, so you're not going to be able to balance an accounting if you do that. So we've come up with a different process to get those gifts entered into donations so they still show up on someone's donation statement. Okay, now keep in mind it is the responsibility of the person making the donation to set the value or determine what the value is of that gift, okay? It's not the responsibility of the church to set the value. So keep in mind when you enter something, you want to say what it is that they gifted, but it's not the church's responsibility to state the value of the gift, okay? And I have an example so we can walk through that. I'm going to go ahead and click on Enter Donation. So let's say someone has gifted the church a case of copy paper. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is set up a giving account for us to be able to track these non-cash giving. Okay, so I'm going to head up here under Accounts and Pledges, and I'm going to hit Add Account. And I'm going to go ahead and just make this new giving account. You can give it whatever ID you want. And I'm going to put in here, if I could type, cash giving, there we go. All right, I'm going to add it. I'm just going to hit OK here. All right, so let's go ahead and work with our donation date. Let's say someone gifted something today. I'm just going to choose today. You can, batch code is up to you. That's going to be just like any donations that you enter. It's really up to you if you want to use batch code or not. If you'd like to keep all of your giving separate that came in as an in-kind donation, you can definitely do that. It's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and pick a giver here. I always seem to use this Nina lady as my giver for examples. I'm going to leave my dollar amount at 0, okay? Very important you don't put anything in here in your amount box. Down here under payment method, this is where you're going to specify that it's an in-kind donation. I'm going to go ahead and pick that. Don't need to check a reference number. And then I'm going to come down here under account. This is where I'm going to pick that account I just made. It seemed to go in a little. I think my computer froze up on me. Let me add it again here. Plus 11. There, this looks better. Non-cash giving. All right, we'll put an S on it. All right, so here we go. Non-cash givings, my dollar amount is still going to be at 0. Okay, now here in the comments, this is where you specify what the donation is. Okay, so this would be where I would type in case of copy paper. So because it's a $0 amount, when you go to print someone's donation statement, it's not going to be added in their overall total giving for the date range you're running the statements for, but it is still going to show up on their statement in the detail section, okay? So if you have a lot of in-kind gifts that come in, you want to make sure when you're printing your donation statements that you do have the detail section showing. That way they can see here. If I could spell copy, there we go. They will be able to see that, yes, they gifted a case of copy paper, okay? Now, keep in mind, too, if someone does donate something that's brand new, for example, and this is on page 18 in the D102 book, you can get a copy of their receipt. So if they actually give you a copy of the receipt that shows what they paid for it, you can definitely make a copy of that receipt, file it somewhere at the church, and put the amount in here if you wish. Now, if it's a used item, you do not want to put any type of amount in there, okay? I'm going to go and hit Done Add to Batch, and here we go. I've added it to the batch, and then I can go ahead and go in and post it. All right, so that really covers entering an in-kind gift. If you do have the accounting module, feel free to post it. And if you do accidentally hit that post and transfer button, there isn't going to be anything that's going to be waiting for you to transfer to accounting because it's $0. All right? So if anybody has any questions on what I covered for in-kind, feel free to type those in. I can get you an answer real quick before we move on to stock. All right, I'm not seeing anything pop in. I'm going to jump on to gifts of stock here. Let me go ahead and just post this, get it out of here. All right, so if we look at page 19 in Donations 102, if you're following along, because of the tax advantages involved, people often choose to contribute gifts of stock directly to the church instead of selling it first and then contributing the cash. Okay, so keep in mind when you get a gift of stock, you are going to want to create a giving account and call it something like stock gifts or something to that effect. So we'll go down here and make that real quick. We'll just give it ID 222. We'll add that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pick Nina again here. She's my go-to girl. Pick her. And then this is what's different, okay? So when you come in here and you have the amount, keep in mind the donation date that you're going to want to use is going to be the date that the gift came in, okay? And then the amount that you're going to want to use is the amount of that stock for the donation date that you're using. Okay, so this might be something that you have to go out and kind of determine on your own, or it might be something that you already know the value when it's gifted. But either way, that's something you're going to have to look into to figure out what the value of that stock is on the particular donation date that you're using. I'm going to go ahead and put in my example amount here. Then down here under payment method, you do have stock as an option. You want to make sure you choose that. As far as check or reference number, don't need to put anything in there. Go ahead and skip on down to your account. This is where you're going to choose that stock gifts giving account that you've set up, the one that I just made. And then down here, oops, let me get rid of this. I jumped the gun. Down here, we're going to put this in, 16 cents. Now, we do recommend in the comments here, you want to put in the number of shares. So for the example in the book, we're going to say we have 10 shares of, we'll just say ABC stock. Okay. Once we get that in there, I'm going to hit done. And then at this point, you can hit post, or you can do a post and transfer and send it over to the preferred income, or I should say the preferred debit and credit accounts you want over on the accounting side. But at that point, you just hit post or post and transfer, and that'll get that gift of stock entered onto their statement as well. All right, guys, that's my last bit of information I had for you covering in-kind gifts and covering gifts of stock. If you have any questions, please type those in. I will do my best to get them answered for you. If I don't have an answer for you, if it's maybe more of a specific accounting question, it might be best to shoot us an email to support@churchwindows.com or give us a call. Let's see here. Mary Beth is asking, how is the best way to handle stock being used as a pledge payment? Mary Beth, that is a great question. I definitely want to get you an answer for that, but I think it's going to be best if you give us a call or email us at support@churchwindows.com. I can get you an answer that way. Or Mary Beth, if you want to just shoot me your email, I can type up a response for you after the webinar as well. Donna's asking, whoop, a couple came in. Hold on, let me scroll back up here. Donna's asking, what factor determines whether I use post or post and transfer for the stock donation entry? Donna, the only difference between the post button and the post and transfer button is going to be whether you want the transfer to accounting screen to open. So if you ever have a donation where you just need to post it, you don't want to transfer it yet, or maybe your job isn't to do the transferring over to accounting, you could just hit post. But if you're ready to post this and get it sent over right into accounting, then you'd want to hit post and transfer. It's going to post this transaction, and then it's going to open up the transfer to accounting screen where you can then send it right on into accounting. So it just saves you a step from having to go up to the top and hit transfer to accounting. Ooh, Robin, I'm reading your question. That's a fabulous question. I'm not going to be able to answer that for you at this time. It's a little more involved and specific to your situation. Call us, email us, support@churchwindows.com. I will be happy to get you an answer, or somebody here will be happy to get you an answer. We might need to get you with one of our payroll techs too. I'm sorry, guys. I'm reading through the question here. Give me one second. Yeah, guys, I appreciate your questions. There are a lot of really specific questions for a lot of different types of situations. I'm not sure I'm going to be best suited to give you all an answer for these. What if someone donates some hours of service? Julie, I see your question. I feel like there's going to be a lot of factors to if they're donating their time. Like if they have a specific craft, like maybe they're a plumber or electrician or something. I'm not sure what the tax ramifications are or how that works if it's going to be someone's time. If you have a tax advisor or someone at the church, a member who is a tax advisor you could talk to, that might be a great way to kind of research the best way to handle it. My thoughts initially would be to enter it as an in-kind donation and in the comments put in their time, and then it would be up to them to state what the value would be. But again, Julie, not being a tax advisor, I'm not sure what the correct answer is for that. If you shoot something into support, I might be able to find someone here that would know. It's support@churchwindows.com. We'll see if we can get you an answer that way. But again, that might be above what we were trained to do within Church Windows. All right, I'm reading through questions here, guys. Give me 1 minute. Karen, I see your question. That's a whole nother topic about handling a gain or a loss over in accounting. We do have information on this out at our website. It's at churchwindows.com. I believe we've done a webinar about this in the past, and I believe we have a document on it too. Check at churchwindows.com, Karen, and if you can't find the answer for how to handle it in accounting, give us a call. Mary Beth, I see your email. Thank you. Victoria, I see your email as well. I'll get you covered. Becky's asking, why would you just post and not transfer? Some people I talk to, Becky, only work in donations. They don't have anything to do in accounting. They don't have the ability to transfer to accounting. They don't want to transfer to accounting. So sometimes people do just hit post, and that just creates the transactions in donations. It's still the only difference between the post and the post and transfer button, and I'm sorry if I wasn't clear, is that the post and transfer button opens the screen that's going to transfer giving over to accounting. So if you're someone who just handles donations, you don't want to send anything to accounting, then you're going to stick with just post. Is there a reason to set up the separate accounts instead of using a generic account besides just detail? Tina, I'm sorry, I'm not understanding your question. If you could type it again, give me a little bit more information, that will be appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, if someone paid for a kid to go to Vacation Bible School, Robin's asking, that's fine. I mean, you could definitely put in payment method of in kind in the comments section. Just put in they purchased Vacation Bible School for a child and post it. That's totally fine. Brenda, yes. That what you're asking is correct. It says a member paid for roof repairs totaling X amount of dollars and would like that amount added on their giving statement. Can I enter it as an in-kind donation and enter the dollar amount? They have provided a receipt. Yes, Brenda. Where do you set up? Tina, I'm reading through your question here. Yeah, I mean, Tina, you could use just your general operating fund if you wanted to. That's fine. The reason why the book suggests to make another account is just to kind of help you keep things separately. If you would like to run a report and just see money that came in to a specific giving account, it gives you a little bit more flexibility. But if you would prefer to use just your regular general offering account, you can. The biggest thing to keep in mind is there's not going to be a dollar amount. So whether you use a specific account that I showed, either the 111 or the 222, or you use something that's already there, you know, that's fine. The benefit of using the 222 account for stock is that you can set up a default accounting link so it goes to a particular place if you're transferring things over to accounting. So if you use the accounting module and you want that stock money to go into a specific stock asset account, then it might be beneficial to have a separate giving account so you can then set up the default of where it's going to be debited and where it's going to be credited. And again, guys, if you have any specific questions about a scenario that you're dealing with at your church, feel free to contact us, and we can do our best to help you, but we are not tax advisors here. So there's only going to be so much we can do in telling you, you know, the amount to put in or certain things like that. It's going to be best if you're unsure how to handle a situation with an in-kind donation or a gift of stock, talk to somebody who specializes in that. All right, guys, I don't see any more questions coming in. I'm going to go ahead and close up shop. If the webinar's over and you do come up with another type of question, just call us, or like I said, email us to support@churchwindows.com. We'll do our best to help you, and if we don't know the correct answer, we will let you know that as well. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for attending.